Hello, once again, loyal, non-existent Scrambled Checksum listeners. It's another week, and I'm once again inserting a couple of editorial notes. One, we will once again be brushing on the Linus Media Group, Linus Tech Tips / Linus Sebastian controversy. This episode was recorded right as all that stuff was kicking off, so we were both kind of salty about that. But episode 14, I believe it is, the podcast that was recorded after this, is me and Kieran doing, is pretty much the entire episode is me and Kieran talking about our views on where we are now with that controversy. So you've got that to look forward to. The other editorial note is the audio quality isn't quite up to our usual standards, which I know are quite low, but that's just because we were recording in person this episode, and, unique challenges to doing that versus recording remotely. So without further ado, please enjoy episode 13. Oh yeah, also before the intro bit of this is quite long because I just had a hard time cutting stuff out because I quite enjoyed listening to the conversation that Kieran and I had prior to doing the intro. So yeah, anyway, listen to a podcast.
Right, you ready? And then now I'm going to do the sync clap that gets even worse.
I'm not sure I'm ready for this.
Okay, this is what I do. So I do like my 3, 2, 1. So I go,
Yeah.
I get ready like this.
Yeah.
And then I do 3, 2, 1.
Okay. It's not as bad as I thought. It's not.
It's not bare ass or anything like
Yeah,
that.
that's what that was my.
Oh god.
that was my fear. It was gonna be full pants down.
I did that at just the right time.
Someone just walked the street. Yeah, so obviously you won't know this, dear listeners, but Kieran has quite a large one. You know those kind of French windows that are on the second floor? Oh, sorry, no, first floor, but like second floor up from the... So you have ground, then first floor. So first floor. It would be into an abyss, but there's luckily a nice handy rail in the way. But it does look straight down the street. So Kieran's desk kind of in front of it. So if someone was coming up the street there and they saw what he just did, they might assume that we were recording a different kind of content potentially. I don't know.
I don't know if people do that kind of thing for OnlyFans. Sometimes what I do is
I'm sure they do.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes what I do is if I see someone coming down, I'll just stare to like establish, dominance.
Establish, that's right.
Yeah, and then
this is my street.
Yeah, then I'll slowly stand up and they'll be like, "Oh shit, is he going to do a sync clap?"
Oh no.
Oh god. Oh
Not
no.
again.
Oh no.
My eyes.
Oh no. Every week. Yeah, it kind of stops people wanting to visit here. It devalues the local house prices, to be honest.
Oh, that's probably you're doing the Lord's work there, really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm making things more affordable.
Yeah.
For young people to get on the housing ladder.
Yeah.
By devaluing the property in a.
I love how you said for young people. I mean, we are both. I think you'd still be considered a young people.
I don't know about that, man.
I think not like super young, but you're not like middle-aged or even approaching middle-aged.
That's true, not yet.
Like, I mean, you're not got...
So that's it. Oh my god, that's the play. Why don't people do this? So like, houses are really unaffordable. Why don't people just go to an area, become like a nuisance to the extent that no one...
devalue the house price. It's the only way.
Yeah, go to like, can you imagine if you went to like, I don't know, one of those really expensive areas in London where like a flat is like £1 million, but then you were such a nuisance and you were so obnoxious to such a persistent degree that then you devalued all of the properties around there and then people started actively moving out and then you move in by making it more affordable. That's the play. That's the meta game.
It's pure genius.
That's the housing market meta. You go in and just ruin everything. Like you threw a load of litter. like again, you just threw a load of litter. Like you dumped a like refrigerator on the pavement.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool. Like did a load of graffiti and you're like, oh, this area's a bit... It's not what it used to be. I think it's going downhill.
It's going downhill. Yeah, I'm not sure I can pay that.
It's reverse gentrification.
Ah,
that's the key. So
that's
it's
incredibly woke. That's very progressive.
Yeah, instead of pricing people out, you drag the area down, and then it becomes like those ones where like you could even do stuff. But if you wanted to get really next level, you could like tunnel under the ground and undermine the foundations.
Yeah, like encourage subsidence.
Yeah,
from other people's properties.
Yeah.
Not the one that you're going to buy, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could like poison the soil.
Yeah.
So that it became hazardous to human life.
Sprinkle a little bit of arsenic around.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Then maybe kill a few birds and leave them in the street just for good measure.
Poison the local water supplies.
A few local pets found dead in gardens.
Yeah, poison the water.
You could use one of my ideas for keeping the cats off your partner's shed.
Oh yeah, just
you know the ones that do actually hurt the cats.
But it's for people.
Yeah. Just impale a few.
Yeah,
people
just,
on them.
you have some heads on stakes. And, that's the thing. That's the play people are
It's a
missing.
great idea.
Yeah. And now,
Yeah,
you've been stalling for that intro now.
I have been stalling.
And
I was just all I was going to say was I love that you said for young people, as if you were talking about charitably making house prices low so other people could afford houses when neither of us are in a position to buy a house.
Well, what do you mean? I totally own this. I can't even afford to rent a whole one.
Yeah,
this is just a quarter of one.
It's just a quarter of a house.
Yeah,
well, you're doing better than me. I just rent a room in a house. So
well, that's right. You'll level up to a quarter, and then I'll let you know what the next step is from there.
Anyway, on another note, I think in the distance I can hear a jingle kicking in. I'm about to do an intro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you going to play it live?
Wow. No, I'm not going to play it.
Oh, I thought you brought a soundboard.
No, I'm just editing Ethan. Cue that in.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you've not got like a fancy. I was hoping that perhaps that's
I could play it through that, but I'm not.
But you could do. I could
if I wanted to.
Yeah,
I just don't want to.
It would be overproduced.
It would, yeah.
We don't want to sound like one of those commercial podcasts.
Hello and welcome back to episode, what is it now, 30?
The lucky episode.
The lucky episode of the Scrambled Checksum podcast. We're probably, I was going to say juicing it up a little bit too much. That's probably the wrong words.
Welcome to the Scrambled Checksum episode 13. It's time to get lucky.
ASMR edition.
You, lucky viewer, are being treated to the 13th installment.
I say ASMR there because I can see that Kieran is talking very closely into his microphone because we are in fact in the same room. Woo! Woo! Yeah, yep. That's totally the audience, the studio audience.
Yeah, woo! I think these guys are great.
It's like that time when Linus did the WAN show live. Oh wait, sorry, sorry. No, we're not. I mean, who's Linus? I don't know. Anyway,
it's like that time that podcast was live, and then people were there to witness it.
Yeah, that time. Yeah, that's totally unrelated to any potentially controversy going on the internet right now. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
Or maybe not anymore. After like a month ago or something. But anyway, moving swiftly onwards.
At least people showed up to it.
Yes,
I think. I mean, we're technically doing that live show. There's no audience.
Yeah,
but I mean, there might be.
There might be.
I'll keep an eye out outside.
There's a van parked outside. Maybe there's somewhere in.
I think that must. You know what? It's traffic. They must have been stuck coming on the way in. We'll have to be our own audience.
Yeah.
You guys suck.
Yeah. Get off the stage. But yeah, we are in the same room. Finally, it's taken technically 14 episodes, including this one. If you include the one that shall never see the light of day.
Oh yeah, the top secret Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
Pilot episode. The rough and ready version, the uncut edition.
The uncut edition.
Available only on XXX VHS tape.
Or Laserdisc.
Or Laserdisc, yeah, by special order.
Speaking of which, I was thinking of in our virtual spaces, or maybe the virtual world is the world that we're in right now, not our 2D selves that you're seeing on YouTube if you're watching this. But we've got that acclaimed album cover to my right.
Oh yes, the best indie band that's ever not existed.
Yeah, behind you is looking very, very empty. I was thinking of potentially adding some kind of Laserdisc poster. What do you think?
That'll be amazing.
Yeah.
No, that's just I'll have to draw it.
You want it to be a drawn one, not?
No.
I was going to just find like an actual.
No. It needs to be original artwork.
Okay.
We can't sell it as an NFT if it's a photo.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
enough.
It needs to be original artwork. We got the copyright on it.
Yeah, but I feel like it might be about time that we. I'm not making any promises. I mean, we've not got any listeners, so I can't exactly break the promises to our listeners. But I mean, I'm not Linus. I mean, I did it again. I specifically said I wasn't going to mention this.
If I can be bothered to draw one, I will draw one over my shoulder.
Okay.
To loom large. Now, I understand you've been on an adventure this week.
Oh my god! Oh, boy.
This isn't your only adventure this week, although this is like the culmination, right? This is I think the adventure was building up to you coming to the in-person recording.
I mean, it kind of was. I've had 2 weeks. I've had 2 weeks off work, including right now. 2 weeks in a day. I'll be going back on Tuesday. But this is my the last trip I'm making before I go back to work. So.
The grand finale.
So in a way, it has all been building to this moment. So
Would you like to talk about your travel adventures?
I would.
What a coincidence! It's on our topics doc as well.
Oh wow!
Who knew?
Who put that there?
Oh,
That's
what a coincidence!
So,
yeah, so you've been on an adventure.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. I started my travels by taking a drive an undetermined length. So as not to give too much away, but pretty long, like longer than your normal expected drive.
What, 2 miles?
Plenty of hours went by in order to get to just outside of Edinburgh.
Right. Just down the road in Edinburgh.
Oh yeah, just down the road. Yeah, that's right. We're currently in John O'Groats.
Yeah, close to the Orkney Islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you took the boat across to Edinburgh.
Yeah. I don't know if that's geographically accurate.
I'm adding misinformation so people can't triangulate. If you say other locations, people could triangulate your position.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, you've taken the boat...
Anyway,
yeah, you sailed into Edinburgh.
By some means that may or may not have taken several hours, but may have involved driving a car on some roads.
Yeah, before getting on the ferry.
Or fields.
Yeah.
And maybe water was involved as well.
Yeah.
I made my way to just south of Edinburgh to a campsite. I stayed there with my brother. With the intent, we were staying for a couple of days. Got there quite late, obviously, with it being a journey of many an hour.
Yeah, of course.
And
of course, dealing with that jet lag.
Yeah, dealing with the jet lag, all the way from the Orkney Islands. You know, dealing with all the different time zones.
Yeah, it's a real mess.
It is a mess. We then went to Edinburgh, the next day. With the intention of kind of, looking around and kind of, I've never been to Edinburgh before, so I wanted to kind of see the sights, go to the castle, go to a few pubs probably, and just
get
look
the whiskey
around.
samples.
Yeah, just get a feel for Edinburgh, because it's a beautiful city. So we get the bus in the morning. First, Tim, my brother, he wanted to go to a climbing wall. He's quite into his bouldering and everything.
You don't have a brother called Tim?
I don't have a brother called Tim. That's right. That's just a hypothetical name.
Yeah, if you were to have a brother.
Yeah, if I were to have a brother, I'd call him Tim. And hypothetically, if he were to come on my travels with me, he'd want to go to a bouldering wall. So we did that hypothetically. So I've never been climbing before, so we went climbing. That was good fun. Got some cool videos.
Did you do climbing or did you do bouldering? Was it up a wall or was it over some obstacles?
It was up a wall, but some of the walls were like leaning, like is it inverted the right way?
Yeah, they've got a name.
It's like a backslash.
A friend of mine's really into climbing, and they've got a specific name. I forgot what they're called. They're called like, I don't know, it's like features or something like that. But yeah, I know what you mean.
They had those as well as like none of them were like completely flat.
Yeah, you did you did the climbing. Did you enjoy it?
I did, yeah. Actually, it was good fun. I think I got up to like a difficulty 6.
Wow. I went once and I sucked at it.
Oh no, difficulty 4. Sorry, actually.
I went once. I was terrible. Didn't have the build for it.
I would have thought you'd be quite good at it. You've got quite long appendages.
Well, hey. I'm told that being tall is a disadvantage.
Is it?
Because it makes you a bit awkward because you can't it's better to be short but still have like the long appendages, as you so artfully put it.
Interesting.
So I struggle. I am also not. I don't have a lot of upper body strength, so that was the other issue.
I think I don't have a lot of upper body strength either. But I'm very light. So.
Yeah, you probably weigh less than me, so it was like less of a hindrance.
Although I'm a noodle arm, I could lift myself up.
You've got that vice-like gamer grip as well from years of holding a mouse.
Yeah.
You're gonna crush a billiard ball with your hand.
Yeah, as we all know, I mean, you want the heaviest mouse possible for gaming. Yeah,
exactly.
As well.
And obviously, as gamers well known for strong grips and.
Wouldn't want to buy the Ponage mouse because I heard from Short Circuit though that the friction's too high on that. Right?
Yeah, it's weird because like when it's in the box, the friction's just far too high. That cardboard really drags across your desk. They should have really put some instructions on how to deal with that.
Stop! Yeah. So salty! Stop it!
You enjoyed Edinburgh then? You enjoyed the bouldering.
That's not even the thing that I was going to talk about. Yeah, so we finished the bouldering, then we got another bus, hypothetically from. Across from New Zealand, where the climbing wall was.
Yeah, of course.
To Edinburgh.
Yeah, back to Edinburgh.
We get into Edinburgh. We start walking up the high street, and there's all these people just handing us leaflets.
Oh right.
For these things, and
I thought you were going to say it was all these people playing the bagpipes.
I mean, there was that as well.
Yeah.
Not loads. We did hit. Oh, obviously, we saw that.
What's your take on bagpipes? Are you a bagpipe fan? Bagpipe lover? A bagpipe hater?
I don't hate them. I don't.
I'm very much a hater.
They're not. I don't like them as a musical instrument, but I enjoy them for a kind of like Bonnie Scotland kind of
like a traditional. You'll be sad to see them go.
Yeah, I enjoy them as a traditional thing.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't like seek out bagpipe
you
playing for musical enjoyment.
You wouldn't be listening to like the bagpipe Christmas album or.
Oh fuck no.
No,
definitely not. But oh, how unprofessional of me! My phone just went.
An absolute joke. It wasn't even a bagpipe ringtone. This guy's a complete.
It was not.
This guy's a complete fraud. He talks about how much he loves the music and then doesn't even have it set as his own personal ringtone.
I know.
So you got given all these leaflets.
Yeah, so we were being handed all these leaflets.
Not for a bagpipe concert.
No, they were all for kind of
Oh no.
adjacent kind of like arty kind of.
Oh okay, it wasn't like a cult
performance-y
type
kind of things. And we're like, well, and we're walking. It was like, wow, this is like way busier than I was expecting Edinburgh to be.
Yeah.
On a this is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, allegedly it was a Wednesday.
and my hypothetical brother is, and then I just started to get a bit suspicious. Like, it's not like the Edinburgh Fringe, is it?
I was thinking that. That was the first thing that came to head when you said about like leaflets and it being really busy.
Yeah. and Tim's like, hypothetically, if he was there, he was like, no, there's no way. And I look up and there's some like flyers kind of saying something to do with Fringe.
Oh, that explains why when we came in, there was all those people like talking about how were we here for the Fringe Festival and then when we were at the climbing wall, it was weird how everyone was going on about the Fringe Festival when it wasn't on. And then I like ran into some performers who were saying about how they were going to be at the Fringe later, and I thought, well, that's kind of weird because it wasn't the right day for it.
Yeah, we accidentally went to the Edinburgh Fringe. We went to Edinburgh, we didn't go for the Fringe, and the Fringe happened to be on. So we were just these clueless tourists walking around Edinburgh going, the Fringe is on. Like, it's like the biggest thing that happens in Edinburgh annually, and we had no fucking idea.
Yeah, do you want to explain what that is for anyone who might not know what the Edinburgh Fringe is?
Does anyone not know even like, I feel like even people like from the US have probably.
Oh, right, I didn't realise it was such a big, I don't really.
It's quite like a big.
I mean, I
thing.
certainly know all about it.
Oh, of course, yeah. Okay, yeah. Just hypothetically, because in case people don't know what it is, it's basically it's a big festival that happens. Right, I think this is the first year it's happened since COVID. But it happens every year in Edinburgh. Loads of people from like across the UK, but from Europe, and sometimes you get some people from further afield as well come together, and a load of like smaller venues and large venues in Edinburgh all have various performances going on. Everything from like stage plays, musicals, bands performing, stand-up comedians, street performers, like. Everything.
Cool. So you've been to the Fringe then now, technically, or do you see any acts?
Only one that was free. She was called. She definitely had a name. She was a stand-up comedian from Ireland. It's Ruth something or other.
So would you recommend Ruth? Ruth's performance a good one?
Yeah, she was good. She wasn't fully my cup of tea, but
You've seen Ruth?
She was good, yeah. Hypothetically, if my brother was with me, Tim, he would have enjoyed it very much.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it was his kind of thing, yeah.
And
so.
Hypothetically, he might have gone up to her after the performance and been quite like
Oh no! Did he make a fool of himself?
He didn't make a fool of himself, no. But he was just very complimentary.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, he wasn't like he didn't get completely starstruck and then like went up to her afterwards and then froze and. Or like tripped over.
I love my mate.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't one of those moments. He didn't completely make a fool of himself then.
Yeah. Talking of things we should put in the background, maybe we should put an emoji pillow in the background.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Put that in the background.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Ethan's got one in his car.
I'll let Kieran do that, seeing as I made the rest of the set. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, not that you're salty about it. Seeing as I did all the work on the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Kieran did the harder bit that was making the characters. That was definitely
the laptops are pretty elaborate. So what else has been involved in your travel adventures? You've been to Edinburgh?
Yeah, so while we were hunting around for the venue where we did actually eventually see the stand-up comedian, we actually originally were going for a different stand-up comedian, but we got there too late because Google Maps took us to the wrong side of the block of buildings for the venue. It took us down the wrong street, and it turned out the entrance was on the other side.
That's annoying.
So we were late by like 2 minutes, and they wouldn't let anybody in after it had started.
That's harsh.
Apologies, headphone users. I did just knock my microphone stand. So yeah, we were sat there just kind of. Tim went hypothetically, if he was there, would have gone to the bar and they would have told him that there was another performance hypothetically on in half an hour. So we went to that. That was this reef person. But while we went to the wrong street, we were walking along trying to figure out where the hell this venue was, and we walked past something that at first I assumed must be a joke, and then turns out is actually real.
Right.
There is an office for the Church of Scientology.
Oh, weird. What did it look like? Was it really like, was it a big grand building?
It was in the kind of like general, not terrace, but you know how it's all like kind of one building going along an entire street. It's like this archway, kind of no wider than a normal door, but taller than a normal door, with the Church of Scientology written across it with like the emblem or whatever.
Yeah. Was there anyone in there?
Well, there was a sign in the door saying free personality tests.
Ugh.
So me and Tim were like, "Oh, we've got to do this."
Oh, you didn't.
Well,
you went in for your personality test.
Well, we were like, "We'll go back afterwards."
Yeah.
So we did go back, and we went up the stairs. And I don't know whether they heard us, but as when we went in, because basically you go in, it's like this little corridor, and it goes through like a spiral staircase that goes up a few stories to the top. Hello, pigeon. You're gonna shit down your window. It's quite a small pigeon.
That's a dove. That's why.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a collar.
Grey.
It's a collared dove.
Oh.
That's why it's got the collar.
Yeah, well, that shows what I know about birds.
That's why I was educated on that.
I see. Well, I clearly was not.
Ethan, edit that part out.
Yeah, go on, Ethan. I don't like to cover up my my mistakes of like certain people, but I genuinely had all intent of not mentioning that at all during this entire recording. But anyway.
So you went up the stairs.
So yeah, we went after this show where we saw this comedian. We went in. Before we got to the stairs, some other like young people went past and were like, "Oh my god!" They were like, "Oh my god, it's the Scientology."
Were they into it? Or were they like you guys just like
no, they kind of went past, and then I kind of turned around to them and was like, "Guys, they're doing free personality tests. You should come and get that." Also, I heard they've got Tom Cruise up here. So I don't know whether the people upstairs heard me say that.
Oh right, I see.
But we went up the spiral staircase and knocked on the door. And unfortunately, they were just closing up.
Oh, just closing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, you must have looked like skeptics as well," and they were like, we're closing.
But they said we could come back the next day, and they tried to get us to make an appointment, which obviously I was like, "Oh, I'm not fucking doing that." But
they tried.
So I kind of made excuses like, "Oh, I'm not sure. We've got to decamp tomorrow. I don't know whether we'd be able to make it." So instead, he gave me this leaflet that you could fill out and mail into them.
Oh, was it for a personality test?
Yes.
So you sent them in, and they'd send you the results.
Yeah. So that's what I was hoping. I planned to bring with me to show you.
Right.
Because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my god.
It's absolutely crazy. There's like 200 questions.
200?
Yeah, and I found a picture online of it.
What's the idea of it then? Is that what do they do? Tell you if you need Scientology in your life?
I was just because I didn't really look into it. I just read the questions. And was like, oh my god.
Do they tell you what your midichlorian count is?
So here's I found a picture of one of the pages.
Right.
On DuckDuckGo. Other search engines are available. So let's see. This is the first one on this piece of paper. So there's a question here. It says, do you get an after reaction when something unexpected, such as an accident or other disturbing incident takes place? And then you can put plus, M, or minus.
What's an after effect? Well, it's not an after.
It's a very buggy piece of software.
Yeah. What was it said? Do you get an after reaction? Do they say what like
an after reaction is? What
do they say what an after reaction is?
No.
So it's just like, do you react if you see something happen?
I guess.
Yeah.
I'll pick another one. Would a disagreement affect your general relationship with another person?
It's like they don't give any context. It's like all these personality quizzes that you do. It's like, what kind of a disagreement?
I think if it was Gamers Nexus who disagreed with me, I think maybe I would. I think I'd write an angry post on my forum.
I think that would definitely affect
and maybe
you.
Try and lie my way out of the situation.
I think that would definitely say you definitely put a tick in the did it affect me?
Yeah.
So
and I'd probably be really salty about it.
So like, because it doesn't say what type of disagreement, so it's like impossible to answer that. Because it's like, if you, for example, disagree with someone on like pineapple on pizza, then
oh god, I hate that question so much.
I know, it's
people get it's just such a nothing burger.
I just hate it when people get really angry about it, or like to the point where they're like, They're like, it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it is just like a point. But like, if that was a disagreement,
Or like people getting really upset about people's choice of footwear. You know, like maybe some people really like comfortable, airy footwear for like taking the bins out and stuff, like maybe Crocs or something.
Yeah,
and people might have really strong opinions.
Yeah, and then, you know, those people have like eco credentials, but they seem to put them aside when they're dealing with footwear.
Yeah.
But like, what's the point of this quiz? Like, what? Because like, it's not telling you what super hunk you are in Hollywood, is it?
Well, it's a personality test. It's supposed to give you like some kind of.
Is it like how close you are to the platonic ideal of Tom Cruise?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Like I said, I didn't really read it. I just read the questions, and like I had the full leaflet, and I was going to show it to you, and we were going to talk about it, but I can't. Maybe I can find a picture of it. I'll pick it. Let's just pick another random question for you here. So I found. Well, I already picked them. They were random when I picked them. I already picked it like while we were talking just then. So there's two here. Question 118. Do you smile much? And question 119. Are you easily pleased?
So the question is there. What do they want? Do they want edgelords, or do they want people who are like easily made to be happy? Do they want the people that are like, my soul needs Scientology because I never smile?
Maybe. I don't know.
Or do they want...
All I know is question 133 is, can you see other fellows' points of view when you were with them?
Is that what they call each other? Fellows? Or is that just the weird terminology they use?
I don't know. I think that must be what they call each other. Fellows of the...
So when you see Tom Cruise on TV, can you like see their point of view? Are you going to do it?
I'm not going to send it. No way, because they ask for a load of personal details.
I imagine they would. Yeah,
that's what put me off. I was fully I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So I was fully expecting to go in and there'd be some like old lady or old like white man sat behind a table and like read your palm or some bullshit and tell you that you've got like.
What is it they do? They have like not midichlorians. They've got like the thing where if you've got too many of them, it's bad, and then they do the thing. You pay them to do the thing, and it gets rid of them, or something like that.
It seems to, from what I'm looking at here, it seems to give you some kind of like graph of.
Because like it must be rigged, right? Like there's no way.
It's called the Oxford Capacity Analysis.
That's a load of bullshit to make it sound scientific, isn't it? And like it's kind of like the name, I suppose, but it's like that's just you get better luck if you like did a which Twilight character are you quiz. And then like looked at the results of that, and then we're like, oh, I need Scientology in my life to, you know, help me out. And is that the one as well where you pay to get like the next level of books and stuff like that?
Probably they did have a.
Did they have a gift shop?
Yeah, when I opened the door, I did see that they had a load of what's it called? Is it Dianetics?
Yeah,
by
I think so. L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
What was it? What was their merch game like?
I didn't really, like I say, we weren't really there
because like if their merch game was weak, it's not the religion for me. Like if I can't get like Scientology keychains, like shower curtains.
Shower curtains.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's like
you want to think about L. Ron Hubbard in the shower.
Yeah, I want an L. Ron Hubbard shower curtain. Car air fresheners. You know, if you want your car vandalized wherever you park it.
Yeah.
Bumper stickers.
I think that would count as a hate crime. It is technically a religion, so.
Yeah, I suppose technically it is, but it's a bit more of a cult, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean, legally, it is a religion, though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought legally it was something like an MLM.
That is illegal, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, no, multi-tiered marketing scheme isn't illegal.
No,
pyramid schemes are legal.
Yeah.
But a multi-tiered marketing scheme is legally not the same thing.
Yeah. Also, don't come after us, Scientology. I know they're ones for like they've got lots of lawyers. I think.
This is what they have on. So the front of the leaflet has that picture. Thanks to
the big thing that says you.
Yeah, thankfully Google has made it so tapping on it doesn't let you see a bigger picture anymore. I love that. Thanks, Google.
It just says you. It looks like a television network thing.
Yeah, it's. I'm really bummed that I didn't.
The thing is, though, it would. I think.
Oh, there we go. There's the full front of the leaflet.
Oh yeah, so picture. You curious about yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, what a load of crap.
Yeah, so I saw.
Allegedly.
Anyway, yeah, I nearly got indoctrinated into the Church of Scientology.
You might have dodged a bullet there, because I bet if you had gone in to do the free personality test, it would have been like, it would have either taken ages and been excruciating, and like you would have had to have either got to the point of being rude in order to be able to leave, because they would have been like unflinchingly polite, but insistent. I'm kind of curious how that would have played out, actually.
Me too.
You'd have been like, oh, I need to go, my kid has a thing.
I think if I'd planned it,
you could go full YouTuber and go in with
then
like
I would maybe, I could come up with a pseudonym and stuff, and
you could have gone in with like you could have gone in full YouTuber mode with a big DSLR, holding it out on your arm's length.
Hey guys, this is my hidden camera.
I'm hoping that they don't discover this, and they got like a full like mic with the.
But that's the thing, in the UK you couldn't really do that, because like in the US, at least in quite a bit of the US, I believe they have a single party consent on recording.
Whereas here you
need both parties' consent, so you'd have to tell them that you were recording, otherwise you could get into all sorts of trouble.
They would absolutely pursue that, I'm imagining. Plus, they like, if you go in with the full like YouTuber mode of like, hey guys, what is it that you're doing here? I'm here with Ethan Exposed channel. I don't think I'd be able to sway that one. No, but anyway, so you almost got indoctrinated by the Church of Scientology.
And then to be honest, the trip did continue from there, but that was really
that was a highlight.
That was a highlight from a podcastable content sort of point of view. Is I nearly got indoctrinated into the Church of Scientology, and sadly didn't meet Tom Cruise or that other Scientology famous dude who flies his own plane. I can't remember, who is it?
Oh, John Travolta.
John Travolta, that's the one.
Yeah. You didn't get to meet either of them. Flying the flag for them.
Sadly.
You didn't get any merch, apart from the leaflet.
To be fair, actually, I didn't explicitly ask them if they were there, so maybe they were.
Yeah, maybe they were. Like, do you think they have like a skeptic filter, where like they ask you a few questions to see if you're serious about it before you start?
I wonder if they're even like. I wonder how deep in the hole the people who work there are.
Yeah, whether they even give a crap.
Do they even like? Are they even aware of like how ridiculous people think they are?
Do they get paid, or are they volunteers? These are the real questions. We'll go back and do some journalism.
Supposedly, there's a whole lot of money behind it, isn't there?
Oh yeah, but like you don't make a lot of money paying people to staff your personality test centers. So it's like, how much are those people getting paid, or are they just like, are they volunteers who are just part of the church and like Jehovah's?
I don't like to profile people, but the guy who answered the door was like fairly old and was dressed in a way that would suggest that he was maybe fairly well off.
Right.
So he could be like a retired
1%er.
Volunteer guy.
Was he like just dripping in Gucci?
Yeah.
big ostentatious watch, gold chain.
I think from memory he was wearing a waistcoat.
Oh wow, maybe they make them.
Well, all waistcoats are from the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, the waistcoat was a cry for help.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's like, please let me out. Tom Cruise locks me in here. He won't let me out.
They don't let us go. They don't pay us.
Tom Cruise won't come out the closet.
Yeah, so like maybe you could have saved. Ethan failed to rescue trapped cultists.
Yeah,
being held against their will in Edinburgh.
I'm actually terrible, and I actively encourage. I actively encourage people on the street to come into the Church of Scientology building.
I actually did some help for them. I went out, got some of my friends involved, brought people in. Yeah, sometimes against their will.
Oh no, I'm actually a terrible person.
I forced people to have personality tests. I administered them on the street and then told them that they were going to Scientology hell.
I collected their data and paid no attention to the Data Protection Act revised as of 20 whenever it was.
You wrote down their email addresses on a piece of paper and then just threw it away irresponsibly.
I passed it out to random strangers on the street. Actually. Yeah, I was like, hey, these guys can only offer you a performance that you might not enjoy, but here's some personal data. Yeah, you could use this for identity theft. Yeah, so you can thank me later, but don't mention any names.
Yeah. Here's your PII.
Yeah, it's some national insurance numbers, addresses.
Can you imagine Ethan's going door to door selling personally identifiable information? like
a protest.
Yeah,
I'm a staunch Brexiteer. I don't agree with GDPR because the EU came up with it.
So. Yeah, you go door to door and be like, hey, listen, do you want to buy 100 email addresses?
Yeah,
I got 100 email addresses here. First names only.
Yeah. Hey, did you vote to leave?
Yeah,
you should be completely against data protection and privacy.
I'll give you the first names for free, but the last names you got to pay for.
Yeah, and also join the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, yeah. So to wrap up my story, we then went. in some longitudinal or latitudinal or
You got on the
combination of
plane.
the two direction on a plane that had 4 wheels and drives like a small go-kart.
Yeah.
We
So you boarded-
made our way in some direction, shape or form to part of Hadrian's Wall, inspected it, stood on it,
like a kind of like a technical inspection.
yeah,
of it,
yeah, like
yeah.
with
All right, mate. Wall's looking a bit old here.
it's a bit
Need to do some repairs on this bit. Got a bit of an issue with the underlying foundation of this section.
need some new cement on.
Yeah,
this
so
bit.
you inspected the wall.
Inspected the wall. We did hypothetically, if my brother had been there with me, both of us would have stood on the wall, facing accidentally the first time we took the photo facing Scotland because we got the orientation.
I see.
But the second time we did it, we deleted that photo because we were ashamed.
Yeah.
And went facing the right way. We stood on the wall, sticking our middle fingers up at England.
Yep.
On from Hadrian's Wall because that stretch of the wall was actually entirely in England, but the support that counts.
Yeah, with just online people are going to look at that.
It was
and
only
nitpick.
just in England, though. You could step like 10 feet north of where we were. Hypothetically, I mean, obviously, from New Zealand to Scotland, you could go
where the
south
5
round
states
along-
meet.
in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
You could step about 10 feet in a direction that might be north. And
Yeah.
you'd be in Scotland, but. Which was fun. I had a bit of fun dancing one side and then the other side of the border because I'm that person.
Oh, how many people were queuing behind you to do that?
Oh, no one. It was really quiet.
Right.
The wall is massive.
I guess it's a long
It
stretch,
goes
isn't it?
on like basically the entire width of the of the island.
Is that why you felt comfortable to do the like stereotypical "I'm a tourist" thing and
Yeah.
I'm in Scotland, I'm in England?
I enjoyed it. I was just embracing my childlike joy.
It's good, wholesome fun.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we went down to the lakes. Tim, hypothetically, if he was with me or existed, wanted to see Keswick. So we checked out Keswick, went to the lake, went to the Puzzling Museum.
Very nice.
Have you ever been there?
I've not been to the Puzzling Museum.
You've been to the Pencil Museum, have you?
I've not been to the Pencil Museum either.
Oh. Have you been to any museum in Keswick? Have you ever been to Keswick?
Not as far as I don't know.
No, in the Lake District.
I've been to the Lake District. I can't remember if we went to Keswick or not. Did you buy Kendall mint cake?
No.
You didn't buy Kendall mint cake. I can't remember if we managed to make it to Keswick. But
You recommended that to me before we went.
what, Kendall mint cake?
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot about it until you've just said
That's
that.
right. To be honest, I recommend it to you more as like a joke.
Oh,
I've never actually tried it.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly good.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's one of those things where it's a local, not delicacy. I don't want to call it a delicacy, but like a local novelty food.
Yeah, kind of like cherry Bakewells.
Yeah, or
Do you know what? Actually, the worst Bakewell tarts I've ever had are the ones I got in Bakewell.
That's controversial. I had a Bakewell tart in Bakewell and it was very enjoyable.
To be fair, it was a vegan one, so that's probably why.
That you think it might have hampered it.
Yeah.
But I had a very good one there, and yeah.
It's just very dry.
Yep.
So dry.
So you enjoyed your trip.
Yeah, we went to that, and then we visited my aunt and uncle in some hypothetical land.
Yeah.
As well on the routes in some.
You went out of your way, yeah.
Back, and they volunteer hypothetically at a hypothetical greyhound hypothetical shelter.
Right.
So we walked the greyhounds.
Oh.
And, hypothetically, I walked one called Rose that I really wanted to adopt.
Oh.
Can't really. I'm not in a position where I can do that. But she was super sweet. She
Oh.
was, like, so calm. As soon as I went into her like little enclosure outside, she was just like all over me, but like not in like a really annoying way. Just like,
Just like friendly.
Yeah, friendly. Just kind of came and stood next to me, put her head on my knee.
Oh.
And she was just so good with the other dogs as well, and just so calm. Didn't bark once, and just super sweet.
Dogs are outstanding.
Yeah, she'd only been rescued like a week before.
No way.
So like for a rescue dog, she was surprisingly calm.
Yeah.
But
What a lovely trip.
so yeah, had a good trip there, and then
And now you're finishing it off with a low.
yeah, with visiting my terrible friend Kieran.
and recording a podcast.
Yeah. Which, of course, I did also go down to, or in a direction to London.
You took the second flight.
Yeah. Took another flight.
Yeah, another
Did
quick
some
hop down to
plane
London.
spotting at Heathrow, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Which was good fun.
Awesome. Speaking of good, wholesome fun,
Oh yeah.
there's a game that I used to play quite a lot of
Oh yeah.
and haven't recently that I had a lot of good, wholesome fun on called Team Fortress 2.
Oh yeah. I may have heard of that.
Yes, by I'm sure most people have.
It's by what's it called? It's by solenoid? No.
Oh yeah.
Turn tap.
Stop valve. No, stop cock.
Faucet.
Yeah.
What was it?
Tap.
Tap.
Yeah. So the popular
Water
valve,
vapor.
which is named in States of Matter by Plasma Games. So yeah, I used to play a lot of TF2 back in my day. When baby Kieran actually had it during the beta, not to do a
Wow.
not to have like
Did you play Team Fortress 1?
I did not play Team. It was called Team Fortress Classic.
What, even when it was first released?
No, actually, it was just called Team Fortress, I assume. I actually don't know. I've never known it as like Team Fortress Classic, but you're right.
Must have been called
it wouldn't make
Team
sense. It would be
Fortress.
like, yeah, otherwise, like, a bit like saying like World War One before
Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
second one. Yeah, it wouldn't really make sense.
Yeah, but they planned it.
Yeah.
The conspiracy.
It was an instant classic.
I mean,
think.
Hitler was there in World War One, so he probably planned it.
Yeah, it was just anyway, it's just an instant classic, so they thought we'll call it that. But yeah, so been a long time fan of Team Fortress 2. Unfortunately, like most games, it gets to a certain age and, the updates slow down. Even though it's still super popular, I think if you look on the Steam charts, I mean, it's free to play. But I think
it didn't used to be, did
it? It didn't used to be, no. So there could have been a situation where I think you would have bought it and then like the week after it became free. But I guess that's like, how it goes. I'd had it for a good number of years before it went free to play. But anyway, it's really popular.
Did they refund you when they made it free?
No, because that would have
Lawsuit.
to be. Yeah, I'm organising a class action. If anyone bought the orange box,
Yeah.
and would like a refund for their portion of TF2 from that.
Yeah.
Naturally, the lawyers will take most of it, but I reckon there's some pennies to be had there.
I also got quite emotionally invested in the idea of there being a third game that never materialized. So I want to sue Valve for the mental anguish I've experienced.
I would also like to organise a third separate class action for anyone suffering emotional anguish that they are unable to play Half-Life Alyx.
You can't file a third injunction against them, or whatever the technical term is, though, because Valve won't understand.
That's true. Yeah, they couldn't comprehend it.
There's only 3 numbers in the universe, and that's 0, 1, and 2.
Yeah, that's it. And you'd have to lump it in with one of the other ones, or just skip straight to 4 because they could maybe tangentially understand that because of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would also like to file a 4th class action against them for emotional anguish caused by the fact that I can't play Half-Life Alyx due to not being able to afford or have the space for a room scale standing VR setup.
Oh no!
Not that you need to be standing on it. They did do the accessibility options really well, so it can be played seated. So I've heard.
I don't think you should acknowledge that, just in the interest of
having more success in our
lawsuit.
Yeah,
I actually heard that many people injured themselves using the accessibility controls and things.
Yeah, they're actually the exact opposite.
I heard that it actually made people less able.
Yeah, it makes things worse. So yeah, I would also like to sue them because I'm not able to play that due to not being able to afford a VR setup, and it also being a difficult format for anyone to record a let's play of. I'm sure
you don't have a green screen either.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Key lights that you'd need.
I think Valve really should be providing those free of charge to any long-time fans of the Half-Life series. What I'll do is I'll take that as payment for not getting Half-Life 2 Episode 3 or Half-Life 3 or whatever it would have been. I'm going to take that as payment for that. Anyway, Valve, popular game TF2, it recently got its first update in a ridiculously long amount of time. Like, it hadn't had a content update in just forever. Years.
Yeah.
I think it had been. I've been away from the community because I kind of stopped playing it a little bit after they started going really ham with the hats. I don't know if you know too much about TF2, but yeah, they brought in the hats.
I think all I really know about TF2 is I really enjoyed watching the character videos.
They were amazing.
Released.
Yeah.
Like
meet the engineer and meet them. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's the dude who wears like the gas mask and is like?
Oh, meet the pyro, where he's in his like pyro happy land.
And it's like God only knows what goes on behind the mask, and he thinks he's shooting like loads of sweets.
Yeah, and he's in like rainbows.
Candy, if there's any American listeners.
Yeah, and he's in the world of like rainbow and unicorns and stuff like that. Yeah. So anyway, Valve's popular game TF2, they recently released the first content update in forever. And here's the thing that I wanted to get your take on.
Okay.
Because effectively what they did was they released a community-made mod as their content update.
Right.
So it was a community-made, from what I understand, I haven't played it too much, and I've been detached from the TF2 community for a very long time. But from what I understand, it was a community-made mod that someone had submitted on the Steam Workshop. Valve basically paid the mod team, from what I understand, to like acquire it, and then launched that as this big content update. And I think part of I don't know if I have an issue with it or not, because like they didn't steal it. but they released someone's mod basically as an update, and this is Valve we're talking about. They're not like a small indie studio. They're like, could they not have either like purchased the mod and added to it? From what I understand, they didn't really add a lot to it. The maps are community-made maps, which they've been doing for a long time, releasing them as updates. But it's like, people are excited for like Valve to put their professional game developers, and that's not to disparage the modding community at all. Like, the source modding community is amazing, but like people were hyped for it because they were expecting new first-party content from Valve, and instead they got like a community-made mod basically that, from what I understand, had a terrible release and was broken and wouldn't run on Valve servers, so it was unplayable. They had to keep taking it out. I don't even know if they've managed to get it working again. I assume they have by now. But like, what's your take on that? Because they didn't steal it, and they're not charging money for it like someone like Bethesda would probably do.
I think that's the thing. Yeah, I think if they A, stolen it, and B, were still charging money for the game, I'd have a problem with it. But I mean, at this point, what do they actually gain from maintaining TF2 other than the good grace of the community?
Well, they do actually gain cash from it because there's the like
skins and stuff,
the like hats and the loot crates and stuff.
Oh, I see.
So they do. I assume. I don't know how whether they make a ton of money from it. I don't know. It's quite.
But they
popular.
paid these modders for the.
They from what I understand, they paid the modders to either acquire it or paid them like. I don't really know how that works really. Whether they would be like, we're paying you to acquire this, and then you need to keep maintaining it, and we'll pay you for that. Because I don't think they got hired.
I think it would be that would be a matter of probably. I'm not a legal person, but I would have thought that'd just be a matter of kind of a contract.
And like, they must have been happy with it because obviously they accepted it. But I think the bit that's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, they probably did all the work expecting no money from it at all.
Yeah, exactly. They basically made it for free, and then.
So yeah.
But it's like, my take is that what? I don't really know. I'm kind of torn on what my opinion is about it, because it's like, in one way it's good that it got recognized, but then in another it's just like, it's kind of a disappointing update when people are expecting, first party content, and then they get like, again, not to take anything away from the mod.
Did Valve set people up to believe that it was going to be that?
The first bit was, they were like, the biggest, when they were teasing it, they were like, oh, the biggest update in years is coming to TF2. Then they saw the hype taking off, and then they had to backpedal it, and they were like, oh, it's not going to be actually all that, because people were getting really excited.
Yeah.
Then they kind of dialed back the hype. So they kind of managed it responsibly in that way.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's Valve. They make so much money. Could they not have, like, I don't know, invested more into this still very active game? Because like, it's got a huge problem with bots at the minute, which they just seem to be ignoring. And it just, then it's like, is it okay though, because it's free?
I think if they're still profiting off it, then they have a moral obligation to continue to deal with issues with the game, such as bots and things. If they're still like providing licenses, but it's like no longer actively being developed and it's just kind of in community support, like afterlife support, then no, I don't think that they do. But I think if they're still making money off it, then I feel like the bots thing, I definitely think they have an obligation to, especially if there's first party servers.
Yeah, but no obligation, you don't think, to, and I guess that's fair, like, they don't have any obligation to release new content for it. And
no, I think it almost, I think especially if they're not making money off it, it's definitely unfair to expect them to.
Yeah.
But I do think that once a game reaches the point where they aren't intending to make money off it, I do think that they should kind of just release it at that point into the public domain and just kind of go, right,
yeah, here you go.
Here you go, people. If people want to,
which I think is kind of what they did with the free to play, because they were like, we're not making money off of selling this game anymore. Really, the money's in people buying the hats and stuff. So why would we not just make the game? But like, that's a little bit cynical, right? Like, oh, well, we're not making money off selling the game, but then I guess you can.
But if they're still actually trying to make money off it, doing the hats and stuff, I feel like they do owe people.
Yeah, like bug fixes,
moderating
and stuff.
It and bug fixes for. Yeah, either they are still maintaining it and can make money from it, in which case they need to carry on providing a value to the consumer, or they don't. They're not. They don't want to carry on getting money from it, and they've just kind of they've let it go and let it go into the kind of open source community.
Yeah.
And then they don't have any obligation to do anything. It's someone else. They've kind of not washed their hands of it. They're kind of gone, right, well,
we're done now.
This isn't our thing. We've done our piece.
Yeah. I guess like you wouldn't expect.
I feel like they're trying to have their cake and eat it.
Yeah.
I think so. I do have a problem with them not doing, if they genuinely aren't actually doing anything to try and fix or aren't
they're just
they're not
making
doing a good faith effort to
Yeah.
try and fix the bot issue, then that's a problem, I'd say.
Here's the one thing that sat weird with me, and I'm curious if it makes you feel the same way too. So this is an update from Valve,
Yeah.
and so you know how they paid the modders to basically release this update. So the modders that made it wanted to have, and like this is a massive effort, so it's really impressive they were able to achieve this, but basically the mod team that developed this hired voice actors to do the voices of the TF2 characters. Not the original ones, but they have people, I don't know whether they hired them, whether they just found people to do the voices or whatever.
So was this like an additional story or something? Or like, what was
it was kind of a like, it was a little bit of lore involved. It was like a kind of like a Highlander type mode, but not quite like a Highlander mode. It was like an all-on-one kind of game mode.
Right.
But they had voice lines in it. And
so like new taunts or like
kind of, yeah,
like,
that new voice lines related to it, yeah.
Okay.
Obviously they couldn't get the original voice actors, but they got people, they either had people on the mod team who could do close enough.
Yeah.
But they had voicing. And I've heard a couple of them and I'm like, they're not too bad. They're like, you can tell they're not the originals, but like, they're okay. And then they also had a model of the guy that you're versus against that they'd had to make themselves.
Wow.
But Valve do have a first party model because they've used them in like videos.
Right.
So Valve have made a model of this character, but the mod team obviously didn't have access to that because this is pre-Valve, so they made their own version of it. They also obviously couldn't get the original voice actors, they had their own. So when Valve released it, they kept those in, and that to me was super weird of like, you're releasing an update for your game, but there's now basically an official update that has not the original voice actors in it, and not and a model which is fan made, even though you have like the actual model. That to me is really weird that they've got like voice lines in the game that are effectively
that's pretty half-assed, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the bit that was kind of sat weird with me. It's like, why would you not get the original voice actors back? Was it really going to be that expensive to like rehire?
I think what that signifies is they clearly just, if they hadn't had this an opportunity to, I would like to know what happened behind the scenes, whether they approached the modders or whether the modders approached Valve and were like, oh, would you like to buy this off us?
Yeah.
Put a shit ton of work into it. Because I feel like that what that kind of says to me is they probably, if that mod hadn't existed, there wouldn't have been an update.
Yeah, they would have just not bothered. It's just really weird to me that
so
like
they didn't want to put any effort into it. They were just kind of like, well, loads of people like this and it kind of carries on the story, so we may as well incorporate it into the game if we can. We'll see if we can give them some money for it.
I think you're spot on with that, because it's like, from what I've heard, it was just sort of one person at Valve and then a contractor that basically deployed it.
Yeah.
So at that point, yeah, they probably just wanted...
That sounds like pretty on brand for Valve.
Yeah. Honestly...
I feel like, wasn't there like one person responsible for developing the whole of the big picture interface pre the Steam Deck?
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then when it only became more polished in the lead up to the Steam Deck.
I remember trying out the big picture interface when it first came out and being like, well, this is a pretty this is a pretty half-baked.
Yeah, it's actually really good now.
It is, yeah. From like, it had to be because of the Steam Deck, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
the new Steam like app in general is also pretty nice.
Yeah, they really improved that, to be fair.
Yeah, like they hadn't redone the interface in so long. Like the mobile app for Steam was just a joke for like the longest time. It was so bad. Like it was like they just kind of like crammed the UI design from the Windows or app into a smaller screen and just kind of like, it looked like something that was designed to run on like Windows Mobile.
I was going to say it looked like the original Windows Mobile,
and not in a good way.
No, it looked like the original Windows Mobile when they basically tried to put XP on a phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, then it was such a joke. I installed it once. I looked at it. I was like, wow, this is complete trash.
I had it installed because you had to have it installed
for Steam Authenticator. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all I used. That was the only feature I used.
Yeah.
I just used it to get 5.
To be fair, I mean, that's still the only feature I use.
Yeah, I don't use it very much.
Occasionally, I use it for looking up a game price, or like I get a notification if something on my wish list is on sale and I have a look. But
other than that,
yeah, because I don't really use any of the social features on Steam. I pretty much just use it as a marketplace.
I'm pretty much just appear offline 100% of the time.
I'm invisible.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
It is, yeah. You wouldn't want people to message you.
Oh, gross!
Like an unprompted social interaction. Oh, ew.
I miss the old days where games didn't used to have any of those features.
Yeah,
Actually doing some ways because you didn't need all these bloody accounts for everything.
always online is pain.
Yep, account for everything.
Yeah. Oh, your authentication tokens expired and you've been offline for too long, so you can't play this game. You've got all the files, but we can't load it, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, we lost connection to the servers because our servers are not very well maintained, so we're just going to boot you out of the single player game.
Although, to be fair, I mean, I know we are aiming to be the #1 misinformation podcast on the internet.
Absolutely.
But to be fair, I have actually never experienced that with a Valve game.
No,
I've never once been offline long enough for that to be a problem.
No, Valve are pretty good with that, actually. They've kind of got like a bit more of an old-fashioned approach to it.
I think the longest I've probably been offline was probably like 2 weeks when I've been on holiday somewhere remote, and that was back in 2015, and I was still able to play Euro Truck Simulator 2 with a keyboard and mouse on my trusty mid 2012 13-inch MacBook.
Oh, Euro Truck Simulator
RAM with my 750 gig hard drive.
Here's a question for you to mull then. So, like, I remember Steam was kind of the first PC game digital distribution platform where you could kind of purchase them on the storefront and then run them through your one account.
Yeah.
Would people like services like Origin if they were just not coming after Steam?
What do you mean if like they were the first?
If they were the first. If Origin was the first, would people and it had more than just more of a wide selection of games, would people be like, ugh, this game's making me install Steam, this sucks? Or
that's an interesting question.
Because like because does anyone really care about the like Steam community stuff where it's like where you earn points for buying games?
I do think that like
the like gamification of it. Does anyone care about that?
I mean, Valve is a big corporation, and especially given recent events, obviously it's all very apparent that you shouldn't trust corporations are not your friend.
Absolutely not. No.
But I do feel like in terms of like a track record, Valve has quite a good track record of doing right by the Steam community, or
I think
like the Steam users, where like somewhere like Origin or even like Epic Games with the Epic Games Store and stuff, they very much don't have that rep, and they've kind of like Epic Games has managed to get some like it's made gains by, obviously it did have that period during COVID where it had some really amazing free deals. Like I got GTA for free.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that actually. That's weird to think that was like 3 years ago.
And now, even now, if you want it now, it's still like 50, 60 quid.
Yeah.
And I got it for free. Like, which it was an amazing. So they got some kind of good grade, but since like I don't buy anything on the Epic Game Store since then. Like even if it was massively cheaper, I might buy it on there. But like, because everything else I own pretty much is in Steam, I don't know.
Yeah, like, was it just because they were... Because again, like...
I don't know whether the good grace that they have with them doing right with the community, they're doing as a strategy to maintain their market position.
Yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't have that.
Because thinking back to like the old days, that free and really cheap games on the Epic Store, that is just like the old Steam sales used to be. Like when there'd be like 80% off of something. And then,
they
like,
still do that.
Yeah,
it's just on older games.
Yeah, it used to be on like a lot. I feel like it could just be recent.
I think that's down to the devs though.
Yeah, and it could just be bias on my part of like, oh, back in my day, the Steam deals were great. I remember getting
rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Whether I only remember the really outstanding deals, but like I remember 80% off on like some really big games at the time that weren't like super outdated.
Yeah, but then again though, at the time the market share for PC gaming was so much smaller.
Yeah,
so
they were cheaper, and
the developers were probably much more eager to kind of scramble at any bit of like getting their game out there that they possibly could. Whether like it's kind of out like at the end of the day, the deals that Valve are able to provide, unless it's one of their own games on Steam, it has to be signed off by the developers. At the end of the day, they have to agree to it. So Valve can only discount it as much as the developer's willing to discount it.
And then you hear all those scummy stories about like...
I mean, I assume anyway.
Yeah, I think they do. Because you hear all those scummy stories about like indie devs who are like not making any money on Steam sales because of the cut that Valve takes and then how heavily they have to discount it.
Yeah.
And then like, can you imagine if EA were doing that? Like how much worse the backlash would be? And then the same with like all of the like shovelware that's on Steam at the minute, like all those horrible like games made by edgelords that just clutter the whole store with just Unity assets.
Have you ever? Who was it? Was it you or was it? It might have been. Allegedly, I've got a friend called Elijah.
Allegedly,
and I can't remember if it was him I was talking to or you. But we turned the the 18 plus filter off on Steam.
Oh no.
And we're just looking through all the games.
No.
It's truly it's an eye-opening experience.
It's incredible
really
to me.
Funny.
It's incredible to me how many of those games.
There's so many.
There's like how many people in the world exist who are just shoveling these games out.
The reviews were so sincere as well. That was the funniest
Really?
bit.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Was that specifically on the? Were they sincerely made games, or were they just Unity Asset Store flipping?
Oh no, I think they were sincerely made. Like all the ones we were clicking on, but they were like porn games.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll have to beep that to stop ourselves getting censored or something.
I suppose it's a bit like the people that comment on porn videos.
Yeah, who do
Like they
these people? Yeah,
like I think they're too sincere to be bots.
They're too good for this world.
It's like who's out there and it's like who's like, oh, I think I'll just leave a few comments.
Oh, this was a great experience. I think I might just share this on my Facebook wall.
Yeah, like or like
post this on my Instagram story.
Amazing cinematography in this one. Can I get the details of the director of photography? I'd like to see more of their work.
Yeah, they really. I'm not going to go any further without.
Yeah.
I was about to make a way too inappropriate statement.
But it's like there are people who out there who I don't understand the mindset at all. I can't, when you just cannot even comprehend.
I just love how sincere some of the reviews were on Steam.
It's like a weird version of like people who, when you like look up where a car park is and it'll have like 800 reviews.
Yeah.
And some of them will be like paragraphs long of people reviewing like all sorts of details about the car park.
Yeah.
And it's like who's like gets the prompt that says like, do you want to review this car park? And then it's like, let me just sit down and have a little stew over my thoughts.
Is going to be a culmination of my life's work.
Yeah.
This is going to be a masterpiece of a review. Because
at some point, it's helpful if someone's like, oh, the bays are really narrow and the machines don't take cards.
I couldn't get my Jeep Wrangler in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't get my obnoxious SUV in there.
Yeah, my Range Rover Sport, it crushed this little town car while I was there. I mean, it wasn't a problem for me, but they were a little vexed. I had to pay them off with some of Daddy's money just to get them.
The ceilings were too low for my Tesla doors to open properly. they couldn't do the automated thing where it flaps around and dances, so I could show off that I have a Tesla. And I'm very disappointed.
I wouldn't park in that car.
Yeah,
what a terrible user experience.
But like, it's the people that go beyond that, and then they'll put like, when I entered, I was gripped by the smell of urine in the air. It moved me to tears, both literally and in my soul.
It was the sting, really. It wasn't the upset. It was the sting against my eyes.
Yeah.
The amount of urine.
and you see it with all sorts, like people that will review the, like, I don't know, their like local supermarket in in-depth detail.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, the bread in here is always of the highest quality, or like, you don't want to...
Unlike that co-op next door with all the meal deals were always sog city.
All the soggiest sandwiches in a 50-mile radius.
Other shops provide meal deals with low quality sandwiches.
Yeah, other supermarkets have equally soggy sandwiches available.
Yes. Love you, co-op and the brand.
Yeah, not sponsored either, by the way.
Not spawn.
But yeah, it's like, is it the same mindset? Those people that write these reviews on these pornographic games, were they paid for games as well?
I think they were all paid for. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they're buying the games, and then I guess like they feel.
I just find it funny that people would sit down and go, that was a lovely erotic experience. I think I'll write a review.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? Like, do you think they would like in the midst of
enjoying the game,
being seized by a moment of pleasure, and they were thinking about the review they were going to write about it? Like, I mean, I don't want to kink shame, but like,
I
think that would be a bit of a buzzkill for me. I don't think that'd get me in the mood. I'm not gonna lie.
I really want to know now as well. Like, are there?
Scramble Checksum has really taken a turn this week. It's the sexual tension of me and Kieran being
absolutely that. Yeah, I just need to take Ethan out on a coffee date. That'll solve everything.
Oh God. Oh no, we did it again.
Sorry, that was me that time. Yeah,
that was way more cancelable than any comment I've made.
And again, if that's true, that's a terrible.
Yeah, that is genuinely terrible.
We take a hardline stance against that in the Scrambled Media group. We would never.
Yeah, we'd give this definitely a hard R rating to this podcast. Wait, I'm sorry. No, not hard R. That's the different thing.
Yeah,
it's a different word. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Peggy 18.
Yeah.
So my question is there a, like, so you know how a lot of these games are probably indie games? I'm thinking, like, is there like a AAA equivalent? Is there an EA of the erotic games world? And don't go for the low-hanging fruit of, like, what, yeah, the XXX developers.
I don't know. I mean, it's such a niche.
Yeah, but, like, a lot of niches, they'll have, like, the one, you know, the big player in the space, even if it's quite a niche thing. Like, you know, even if you think of, like, any niche hobby or anything, there'll be, like, the one brand that, like, a lot of people have as, like, the quality one, right? So is that the case in the erotic games market?
I don't know.
Is there, like, a big...
Maybe the listeners know.
Is there do they also then do the same practices as the AAA game of, like, cynical microtransactions?
Well, let us know in the comments. We may or may not do a little bit of research into that.
Yeah, people
and
who...
let you know next episode.
Yeah. I know I'm salty because people will comment on those games, yet they will not comment on the Scrambled Checksum podcast.
Not a single comment. Even my mum has not commented on the podcast. We've not had any reviews.
That might be a good thing. We maybe don't want to encourage reviews.
No.
A bit like a cafe that gives people food poisoning. You wouldn't necessarily want to, you know.
Yeah. I was thinking of reaching out. There's this really cool guy who's with long hair. He's known as Tech Jesus. I was thinking of reaching out and asking him to review our podcast, but I got cold feet this week for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine why you wouldn't want him reviewing. If the episode will have dropped at this point, but in episode 12 there was actually a graph briefly on screen as well.
Was there?
Which I can confirm was screenshotted by myself and fact-checked.
What was that in reference to?
It was in reference to the price of the crypto coin that I almost bought.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
And it was on the screen for a brief second, but I can confirm it was thoroughly...
Facts checked.
It was Googled once and then screenshotted from the very top.
But, like, yeah, we never claim to be accurate, though. So.
Exactly, no. We're an entertainment channel. And speaking of which, if you'd like to be entertained every other Monday...
you can find us right here on whatever platform you happen to be listening to us, or if you want to switch platform, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Audible, although I'm thinking of removing us from there because fuck Amazon, Deezer,
yes, Deezer.
Google Podcasts,
YouTube.
I think I said that one already. Apple Podcasts, like quite a handful of platforms, and also some like recast ones that like just go from other platforms feeds that I'm
illegally reposted on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
I mean, we still make the same amount of money from that, so don't feel too bad if you are listening on Facebook.
Yeah, or if you're, listening with ad block on, we don't care. We don't,
Yeah. If you have been listening, thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to let us know though about those comments you've been leaving on those porn games on Steam.
Yeah, and also leave similar comments. They'll still drive the engagement. Don't forget to like us as well. Subscribe, share.
I've been Ethan.
I've been Kieran.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, that was a bit close to one, Luke, because at the end of the one show, I don't want to get wrapped up.
Yeah, you don't want to. You got to be careful not to. I mean, we should probably just cancel the whole podcast, really, because it's a similar format to the
crap.
We're in the same room again, like the WAN show.
Oh crap! I forgot to turn the mic off.
It's alright. We'll do an apology video.
Yeah.
With merch.
We need to get a new CEO.
With merch adverts, yep. Get a new CEO, and then also monetize the apology.
Yeah.
Until people notice and call us out on it.
Did they actually do that?
At first, yeah.
Wow, I
didn't
even
turn
know.
off monetization.
I didn't.
The Australian guy even mentioned it in his video about it.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, it was right at the end when he said like, oh, and don't forget to turn off monetization on the video. Better check that with the chief financial wife.